Hello everyone, it's Sloth here and I'm extremely pleased to say that Dimir is back. I've been trying to find a good Dimir deck that actually can compete in this meta, and man, this deck does it. And not only does it, it's actually really cool with the new cards. It actually benefits from them. We will go into the deck list, but first let's see at the stats. We have 75% win rate and we went 3-1, and we pretty much improved for 300 positions in Mythic. That's pretty good. And let me tell you, the only freaking game we lost was such ridiculous mana screw. First we had to mulligan to 6 because we had 2 lands and all the 5 drops from the deck. And then we basically couldn't draw into any part of the deck that is relevant against non-creature matchups. And that's it, like enemy had 15 mana before we could hit our 5th land. So if that's the only game we lost, I'm really hopeful for this deck. And the games we played, just watch the video, like we were dominating enemy. So yeah, I think that we are onto something, and I'm really happy to see that Dimir with new cards is really like doing it. And we'll go into like card choices because not all of them can be obvious at first call. So yeah, that's the deck, and let's go see the list. Okay, and now we are in the deck list, and if you like some action instead of me talking, like go into the games, and to be honest, like I'm really happy with them. They were awesome, they were fun, and they show how powerful this deck is and how dominating it is. Something you wouldn't think if you can have 3 colors at the same time as you have 2 colors, but the fact that we benefit from Jwari and Hagra Mauling and all this mana stability, and a lot of good cards are in Dimir like deck. So yeah, we are doing better than fine. Like I'm super proud of this deck and super happy with the result. So if you like action, just go there. And for anyone that wants to actually understand the deck and why it works and why it's so good, let's go into the details. Some odd card choices that might not seem obvious at first choice. Soul Shatter, card that usually is considered too slow. Why do we even run it? It sucks. Raffine. It can kill Raffine on curve. That's something that most cards cannot tell about them. Like, you have also Infernal Grasp, but it really makes sure that this Wandering Emperor, this Elspeth, this whatever, like any planewalker, like we have so many planewalkers that are played and you want to kill them at instant speed. Infernal Grasp cannot hit it, and we also answer Raffine and all this weird stuff that's around right now. So that's actually card that is very good in the deck. And what more? You can see that our mana cost is quite evenly spread. This is due to Tainted Indulgence and Graveyard Shift. We will talk through them, but you know this mechanism of 5 different mana costs in the graveyard. This is a big motive for the whole deck. This is also the reason why we have so many Celestus. This card not only ramps you, not only heals you, not only cycles cards to you, but it also ensures that you can quickly make this condition of 5 different mana costs, because you don't need to play those cards to put them into graveyard, which is normally the case. Which is great because we have a lot of like sideboard cards. We have Shadow Verdict that sometimes is not great. We have Ray of Enfeeblement, that's card that against mono white, and also Raffine. You can see the motive here in the deck. But if it's not the matchup, you just cycle it, and it's 1 cost in your graveyard. This is 5 cost in your graveyard. And suddenly it's really easy to fill all the conditions to draw cards. And when this starts to draw you 2 cards for 2 mana, that's extremely good. And this is one of the reasons we have Soul Shatter as well, because it's a removal for 3 mana. So if you cast it, you suddenly have a 3 cost in the graveyard. Okay, that was part of it. Tainted Indulgence, really good. Graveyard Shift. This is a big like backup strategy for the deck. It's only 2 cards, and it's with the synergy to the full deck. But when you go into this route, usually like in the late game, because like you are not really reanimator deck, you can do it, but probably you won't. This actually can get activated, so it's 5 mana flash spell that reanimates into the battlefield. So that's pretty powerful effect, and for this reason we have cards that really benefit from this. Of course, we have something like Iymrith, because it's really hard to remove. It's one of my personal favorite cards. Like, I've been playing with Iymrith so much, and I really like what this card does. It's really powerful. But Lier, can you freaking imagine playing Lier with Flash at the end step? That's what this deck can do. And moment you untap with Lier and enemy, you can do it at every turn. It means that you do it when enemy taps out once a game, and suddenly you have all the spells from the full game at your disposal. You can start drawing with Tainted Indulgence, Shadow Verdict again, Soul Shatter. Like, you can do freaking everything, and enemy cannot respond because everything is at flash speed pretty much. Okay, for the weirder cards, Kairi, Swirling Sky. And if you think this card sucks, watch the games. And after the games, I dare you to say it again. Like, I know the Vanishing Verse answers it perfectly, but then it's still 5 mana, so it's not like enemy gained tempo. And they need one specific card, or they die, or they're super behind. Like, if enemy doesn't play Vanishing Verse, he's really problem. Like, this is a big problem for him. And we can have a lot of stuff to get back with the mill effect, like even drawing like additional cards with this or Memory Deluge, or just going for full removal or full sweeper or Graveyard Shift. And don't forget, you can get those dragons back with Graveyard Shift, so this together with Kairi actually makes a loop. Because when this dies, you get back the Graveyard Shift, then you play it, and you get back the Kairi, which when it dies, go do it again, and so on, so on. So basically, you can have infinite value just with those 3 cards. It's not like big strategy, but this deck is full of those small things that gives you infinite value or very high value. Even the fact that you can cycle cards, at the same time activate the Tainted Indulgence and Graveyard Shift, and also here, like, and also cycle the cards not great for the matchup. Like, everything just adds up. Hullbreaker Horror. Staple card. In this deck, it's powerful. It wasn't the biggest hero, to be honest. It's universally good, I guess, so it's fine. But given it has flash, this doesn't give huge synergy, only it's cheaper and you can get it back if it dies. But usually you play Hullbreaker Horror when it doesn't die. But yeah. We have 2 Hall of the Storm Giants. We don't have many basics. That's one of the issues with the deck, and we are still playing Raffine's Tower. There are 2 reasons for this. First, we really like Dimir mana, and we want to make sure that we always have them. Even for Tainted Indulgence, like, you have only colored mana here. Same for Ray, Fading Hopes, things like this. Even Hagra Mauling has quite high cost. Sometimes you can have trouble casting Memory Deluge on curve, so that's why we have this. And second thing, it can cycle. In case you don't have any discard effects, you can actually put land into your graveyard, same with Field of Ruin, so you can activate Tainted Indulgence a bit easier this way. There is a point to just go with some more basics, especially if like land destruction, those wildfire decks or something will be more popular. I didn't have issues, but there were games when if enemy knew what we had, he could deal some destruction damage, but it's usually not the case. So, that was the deck. I'm really happy to announce Dimir is back, and the deck exceeded my expectations, and I will be playing more of it. It's super fun, and it feels quite dominating against a lot of decks, and it feels more control than current Esper, which is weird to say, but this is a control deck. Esper is like aggro control deck, like tempo deck, which I personally prefer Dimir in this case. So let's go into the games, and if you like this kind of decks, explanation, channels, everything, just subscribe, like, I really appreciate it, and it's a cool thing when you support the channel. So thank you and enjoy. Okay, we definitely have some removal. We are on the draw. But at the same time, we also have Ray of Enfeeblement, so yep, we should hit something, right? We have enough lands for now, so let's not use Hagra Mauling right now. And like, it is actually a better card as a 3 mana thingy. Let's play this one because it's untapped. And I think we do it right now, just to make sure that it dies. And as you can see, even against non-white creatures, pretty much 1 damage or -1 is actually helpful. This will be a bit worse, but this is the reason why we have Soul Shatter, because it doesn't get taxed, which is really big thing. So far we are really removing the threats and we are slowly building into Tainted Indulgence. Okay, this will be a bit harder, but maybe what we do is just go for Shadow's Verdict at some point. Vivir Z. For now we don't need to really do anything, and let's see what's up. Luminar Aspirant. So enemy needs to go a bit wider to benefit from the wedding announcement. I really would love to use it as a draw tool, but I don't think we have time to do it. I think we just bounce Fading Hope. How is it worded? If you attacked. Okay, so if we bounce something after he declares only 2 attackers, it's pretty much the same. And what do we have? 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Man, I think Shadow Verdict would be pretty decent here. Let's go for card advantage. We don't really need the tempo right now. Or we could let them draw a card and draw 2 cards ourselves. That's also not bad. And then we Shadow Verdict whatever they played. To be perfectly honest, this seems fine for me. If they have Raffine, it could be scary, but our Soul Shatter will still hit it. Like, man, Soul Shatter actually is a very good answer to Raffine. I think he attacks with 2 tokens. Smart cookie, perfect. He draws a card, so that's good for him. Interesting play. I wonder if he won't play anything into the board. Okay, that's better. Like, worse for us? Actually, it's better for us because we have Verdict, right? So we exile anyway. He gets the card. And now we are forced to do something. We can see priority, but he has no blue mana. Oh man, oh man, yes please. Yes, freaking please. In this matchup, Shadow Verdict seems to be quite a good card. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, the underdogs, the Op Nixleys, all this stuff, like, it really destroys enemy. And I think we are in a very good spot to win this game. Man, like, I'm loving this deck. It's so freaking fun. You can see so many cards that are really, like, thought out overall. So, yeah, that's my new favorite. And with this deck, you want to make sure that you hit 5-5, because it actually does matter. But for here, we are just doing this. No need to do anything on our turn. You generally can play everything on enemy turns, except like Shadow Verdict. Just be careful. So for example now, it can destroy his counter. At the beginning, let's go full control. Yep, because that is what will happen most of the time. Let's Fading Hope, so it's basically a removal right now. Sure, I don't mind those. Like, the more you have them, the better it seems to be in the game. Like, it also kills Raffine, don't forget, and Raffine is something that can be extremely huge, like 6-9 or something like this. And and at the same time, basically, it's 3 mana converted cost, so it really dies easily and you don't even pay the ward, so it's really good removal. We don't have creatures, right? And we have what? 7 mana. Man, I will still take it. Oh, maybe not. Let's go for the sure win. Like, this game is over if we don't mess it up, so maybe let's not mess it up. So we are at 14, right? Let's go for the Aether huge march. We can actually even activate the Hall of the Storm Giants. If he wants to go into combat, we just kill Aspirant so they don't draw a card. Okay. That is pretty good. So we Soul Shatter and Shadow Verdict, right? That's the play. Do we let him... Oh man, I didn't want to give you this. I hoped it will stop before combat, but I guess you need manual stop for this. So what are we doing? I think we just heal up by quite a lot. Or we just... yeah. 5 damage is not a huge problem, I think. 1 card is manageable. So we will get 5 damage on the face, but we will deal much more. So like 7. We don't exile anything, we don't need it. And we just kill Lolf because it's more than 3 mana cost converted, and we are back to 16. And over the long turn, we get to really overdraw enemy. Like, we have so many more cards, and now we have Lier, which is amazing. Let's go for Shadow Verdict, that's why we took them. So enemy again has no tokens. Man, Takenuma is such a strong card here. I like mana, but I think Takenuma is even better. Man, like, we are controlling this game so freaking hard. Okay, that's fine. Another good part about March is that it really live gains you, so you are not pressed against such cards. You can just at some point draw another March and just go for 15x or something crazy like this, and you are really a happy person. Let's go for Lier. I heard it's a good card. How do you think, my opponent? Enemy has something. Not sure what, but we definitely don't need to see it now. And we have so many Fading Hopes exactly for this. Can we do something more? Of course we can. Enemy is tapped out, so there's no risk in drawing some free cards. Freebies, so we call it them. Joke was a bit better in my mind. So basically, we have another, like, again, full hand, and at some point we'll get the Resurrection spell. We have Takenuma. We basically have infinite value. Oh man, enemy is just trying to smork us so hard. So next turn we will play Takenuma. If that's his game plan, he pretty much played everything, so he can run us over. But with Lier as a blocker and a lot of mana, like, it will be super hard for him to keep up. Oh man, this is actually also a really good draw. Maybe even better than the other ones. Like, how much mana do we have? If we do it now, so he cannot kill the creature in response. I think Shadow Verdict answers everything. So we don't get the underdog problem. And we will keep the Soul Shatter, because we can also Memory Deluge if we really care. Like, it seems that the enemy is fighting, but look at the card difference. We will still kill it, so it will be just a token.
There are many secrets I don't know, but not for long.
And let's see what's up. And we are definitely not using March on the token.
It's like your defenses
Yep.
aren't even
I was thinking if he has Raffine. You might think things got scary, but fear not. They didn't. We can even, you know what, let's do some cool stuff. We are in for cool plays, right? Have you ever heard about Shadow's Verdict? We can do it all day, baby. And we even have the Fading Hope. And this deck is freaking brutal. Like, we are just donking on this guy. Top 500 Mythic? No chance. Easy. Okay, going first with card draw, sweeper, and some removal together with healing. Man, like, this deck is freaking doing it for me. Like, I miss playing very good Dimir. And this one has it all. Like, Man, like, even Ray of Enfeeblement, I always am happy to pretty much draw it. We don't really have a 3-drop, right? So let's do it like this. Hopefully Tainted Indulgence hits something. I'm not sure what we are playing against. It seems to be more like Esper Control type. So probably Shadow Verdict isn't something we need. At least not 2 of them. And the good part about this deck is usually you can still have it back at some point with Lier. Like if you really care, Lier can, you know, you can have 10 mana and just go for Lier and some sorcery for 5 mana and sweep. Okay, that's interesting play. I will risk it a bit. Oh yes, enemy doesn't seem to have any counterspell. I think they might have the charm. Charm counters instant or sorcery or remove, so generally it's good reaction time. Man, I had no idea we skipped the turn. I was weirded out what happened. Okay, this is something we will have to answer. And it won't be easy, and it won't be pretty, but we need to kill it right now. Oh man, or maybe we just go for Iymrith. Man, how can you freaking not go for Iymrith? And I think at this point we want additional mana. Oh man. If they play something it will be this turn, so I don't think it's worth to keep for the next turn. Like even they have like LOL, it will be played right now, and with 7 cards they should have another round. Yep, that's what I thought. That's what I freaking thought. And this is another synergy of this amazing deck. You can always discard it. And for every one of you that is scared that I will click it, I won't. Remember, Raffin is a white card. It is a white card. And that's awesome. I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit scared. If we attack, we might lose Iymrith. Enemy is really waiting for the attack. I think what we actually are going to do is this. And you will love it. Like, you will see the plays, guys. I think he will remove Iymrith at the end step. Or at least try, but to be honest, like 1 mana? Maybe he has some March and Huge Exile, but I think he will try to kill it next turn. But if we attack, it will be this turn. So, like, Ray, man. But this card is gold. Like, the more I play it, the better it seems. I nearly never feel it's a dead card, even in the other matchups. See? I told you he has it. It felt like Obscura Charm at turn 3. Okay, we could bounce it. But I don't see much reason to do it, to be perfectly honest with you. I think we go for March next turn. Problem is, he probably has more charms. I would expect at least 3 in the deck. And this is instant. However, when we are out of the cards, we are fine. Otawara is good to save this, but if he doesn't pay the ward, we fall behind on tempo. Oh man. So what this probably is, let's give him Connive. I think it's a Ganja. They usually play 1 Ganja on this deck, and I think that's one of the best runs. Oh, that's really interesting that he discarded this. His hand must be so gas. Like, man, this is perfect answer for Iymrith, actually the best one. Go for it, show me what you got. If it's a Ganja, I'm fine. Smart. Or not. No, now it's not a blocker anymore, so he cannot a Ganja, so it must be something different. I am waiting. Maybe mid-hook? My pleasure. Told you the play will be epic. Freaking epic. Oh, we feel so smart right now. I feel super smart. Vanishing Verse. If he discarded it, I would guess he has more. We have to do it like this. Maybe we keep Jwari. Like, we have 6 mana for everything. They shouldn't play Jwari in this kind of deck. I will hold, because at some point Celestus will cycle, so this is pretty much draw a card. And if we play it, it's dead. And we don't have much value. Enemy outvalues us by a bit. It has to be this way. Can we kill it? Not really, right? We can go for 2 damage only. That's fine. That's fine. That's full turn for the enemy. And we have Kairi, that is also vanishing versus target. I hope he doesn't hit this as well though, because then we would be in some trouble. We need to pressure them. Like with Ward, he needs vanishing verse. He pretty much needs the vanishing verse directly. If not the vanishing verse, he's in trouble. If he has a third vanishing verse in his top 15 cards, then yeah, I guess you are fine. But not much we can do about such good draw. And it doesn't seem they have it, which is pretty awesome. So we are baiting double draw, right? Double block, right? Of course we are. And it seems legit, because we might want to lose Kairi. And now they don't have what to do. They don't know what to do. We couldn't attack with the Hull, because it's 7-7 and 2 angels are 8-8. So they pretty much trade perfectly for them. And we are tapped out and we are unhappy and we lose the game. So that's definitely not good. Man, we are playing against Revan. That's something to be proud of. For all you Star Wars fans. Ha! Baited. And I think we go for 4. You know, Jwari might happen. I'm not saying it will, but it definitely can. Enemy is pressured to do stuff. And don't forget, Ward gets, makes Jwari much better. Like, we have 4 Jwari for a reason in this deck. Every time enemy tries to kill Kairi or Iymrith, he needs to pay a shitload of mana. If he wants to double spell or something, like, you counter something then. And if not, we just cycle. Kaito. That's fine. If he -2, we probably kill it at the end step. Sure. Let's make a stop before the phase out. We would have trigger, I believe, but I'm not risking this. We are at 23, so we just need removal. And if the enemy plays something, he double spells and we go into Day Night cycle and we cycle Jwari then. So it's still okay for us. Nice. Nice. Enemy didn't draw anything from the Kaito. He needs another Kaito to have any benefit of this, of this one, because the ninja is pretty much all he got. Oh man, this is a big decision. Like, we could just activate the Hull and go for the kill, but personally it's not my style. It could be good, but it's just not how I roll. Because then, in order to activate the Hull, you really fall behind on tempo, and it means that if this plan doesn't work, you are basically dead. And I think with without Memory Deluge, that's how I would play. But if we have Memory Deluge, man, like, you have options. And we are definitely keeping this Jwari. Enemy is doing pretty good job in not cycling day and night. And we don't really care to play on our turn so much. Not too happy about this one, to be honest. I think we actually deluge here. We only have 2 colors, so we might as well do this for green mana, because that's what we need. Yep, and we have 3 Dimir mana. I do it because that's a good target to counterspell. I think this is what we do. Graveyard Shift, man. Iymrith is exiled, but not Kairi, and we can kill it if we really care. Actually, I should make a stop and I should probably use Infernal Grasp on Ninja. If Kairi is here, it means the enemy cannot remove it. And if we kill the ninja, it means that enemy doesn't draw a card, and you can see that he's losing the card advantage battle. So I definitely feel that it's worth it in this situation. It's a hard choice, but he's tapped out, so he cannot do anything about it. Oh, and we cycle a card. Wow, that was a real deal breaker. And jokes aside, it's better that we cycled it instead of drawing it next turn, as pretty much a horrible draw. And they got it. Man, like Vanishing Verses. So he got 3 Vanishing Verse in top 18 cards. He actually never drew any card advantage, and he's still here. Oh man, that's so irritating. So irritating. And now we have choices. What is the standard version? This spell can be countered. Cool. Do they have more? Like, they have Obscura Charm, but that won't hit the Hullbreaker. And they need Vanishing Verse for exile, or we get it back later, like next turn. I really don't like the idea that he draws a card. I think we are having him like on the border of boxing match. We don't want to let him lose. But I think it's still the best. We could activate the hole and just go for either Kaito or this, and he's forced to block nearly. But with Mid-Hook you can probably heal 1 HP somehow. Let's go into the night. I'm not convinced if that's better, to be honest. I think we just get rid of the land. Like, Jwari might matter, especially with Hullbreaker Horror later. We cannot block, so we need to allow it, which sucks. And now we are even on cards, but hopefully our cards are better, and we have tempo advantage with Hullbreaker. Okay, one of them is a land, that's good. Kaya. So he will put the ghost form counter, which is good, because we can bounce stuff. And you probably main phase need to do stuffs to bounce Kaya back. He cannot play her twice. Okay, I think it is really tricky, but I think we can navigate this game somehow. Unless he has another Vanishing Verse which destroys us, but come on, like, four of them? That's like the best card in this matchup for the enemy. Okay, no freaking instants. That's how it feels when he doesn't have instants at all. Oh man, that's so good. What more? It means... Let's count the mana. I did it only because there are no instants, so it's exactly 14 damage. That was not my plan, but enemy just was left at exactly the lethal. Man, like, this deck is a beast. It feels really powerful. Okay, going first with Celestus, Removal and Shadow Verdicts feels really good, and as one smart person, sometimes said, those ugly sleeves work only for angel decks. I'm not like fearing 1-drop, and to be honest, this card is so good against NOI decks. Yeah, Oars of Angels. Right now we definitely want the Jwari, especially that next turn we can go for Celestus quite easily. So, like, we have enough value in hand. Wow, Memory Deluge is super great. So what? Next turn Valkyrie. It's fine. We want double black. There is an argument to not play Celestus and wait with Jwari. But overall, if you want to ramp as soon as possible, and with Ray, we can easily kill anything he plays. That was a bit scary. We definitely kill this, but do we hold Jwari? Do we hold Jwari? I think we do. Yep, I'm sure. No? Oh man, I freaked up. I think I should have casted at upkeep, so we can use the cycle. But you know what? Maybe he would untap and counter it, so maybe that was correct play. Probably more correct would be to cast Jwari, but I'm freaking greedy and I want stuff for free. Nice, enemy cycled us. Definitely take action. And I really like the land. Oh man, like... we need removal. Shadow Verdict can be such a huge card. Don't hate me for this. Oh, I hate you. Oh, I hate you for that. Okay, we want lands. At least this fixes our mana a bit. And we can remove something or go for Shadow Verdict. Like, I'm doing all the drama here, but to be honest, we are in a very good spot. Like, we have draw. Oh, I hate this part though. Shadow Verdict will be really good here, unless he has another charm. We probably could kill the thing, but we would need to exile something, and I don't like it. I will allow this one attack. Hopefully he plays more creatures into the board, because Rafin is not super scary alone. Like, it is scary, but not super scary. Oh, and that's actually a problem, because it's 4 mana cost. Whenever you draw, okay. Theoretically, enemy can draw a land and place blue and then counter something, so maybe let's not do it. Oh man, those are the cards. I'm taking this definitely because it's awesome. I might even take Fading Hope, but probably Memory Deluge is better. It's really hard to turn Lier down. Like, Lier is such a powerful card. Man. I think against these colors, Lier will just die to Infernal Grasp. But I'm conflicted. Maybe Lier was the correct decision. I think this is a bit more flexible and safe bet. Like, this will always give us the card. Lier can just die and we get nothing. Okay. So enemy has 1 plane. I think he might have more basics, but I'm not sure yet. We can Shadow Verdict, but we pretty much only kill Rafin, which sucks. Definitely Field of Ruin. We have what? 5? 6 mana. We would have to exile something in order to kill this. We could also just play this and force enemy to do something about it. You know what? I like this idea. Let's see what he can do. We are at 18, so I think we can survive 1 turn of this stuff. And even with Connive too, he cannot go into 6 power on any of the creatures. And if he attacks with both, he loses 1 for free, so maybe he has Vanishing Verse and that's a problem. But if you play Charms and Vandals, you have limited room for this part. Like, you want to draw cards, not exactly like remove stuff. Okay, Ward protects it, right? Ability. Okay, that's fine. So, I'm actually really happy with how it went. We can even kill Kaya easily. And now Shadow Verdict really makes sense, because it pretty much gets rid of the counter as well. Oh no, it's exiled, right? It's put into exile. Okay, that's different. Oh man, I want my Fading Hope back. That would be much better. So if we exile, he gets danger. When this creature dies or is put into exile, return to owner's hand and create a token with flying, so we cannot kill Kaya for this reason. We can kill her with direct damage though, which very possibly is what we will do. It also puts it back into hand, so it cannot really be used. Let's attack it first. And I think we just use March and kill Kaya. Man, like the fact that it's also exile is a big issue. But you can see that Kairi is a problem for the enemy. Okay, and now we have what? 5, 6, so exile 1. It's actually not so bad, you know? I hate exiling this one, but I think that's the right play. And we need Shadow Verdict as well. So let's kill Kaya. And we are left with 1 mana, which is huge, because we can use Ray.
So this is gonna be one of those.
Okay, we really swept during this turn, and we even got the cycling. I don't think it will be extremely useful, but like we have really good cards. Oh man, this is a player, but I think it's a bit too slow for us. Like it helps with value, but it destroys your tempo, because you need to replay the Kairi, for example. And it's not value if you bounce enemy creature, like he just replays it turn after, so you don't really... you fall behind in cards. And Tainted Indulgence has exactly the opposite effect. It is, like, this game is hard, but now Shadow Verdict is perfect answer. I hope he doesn't have counter, like he can have the charm, and to be honest, like in 15 cards there's high chance he has another one. Kaya was a problem, like it was hard to go through her. Like this part of exile is like such a big issue. 1/1 counter. He discarded Nico Aris. That's interesting. You know, first of all, let's attack and see if he blocks. Like, we are going with Shadow Verdict game plan. It's also fun because Kairi actually has ward even after attacking, which is not the case with some different card like Iymrith. We get 1 Jwari mana, and let's see. Like, if he has counter... oh yes, if he had counter we would be in a pretty rough spot. Vandal. Vandal is not the worst. It depends if he has Kaito. For some reason I think he has Kaito, if he played like this. So he attacks, gets Kaito, +1, and this gets counter and he draws a card, which is pretty good. And then Shadow Verdict won't work because it's phased out. Oh! 7 mana, draw 2 cards. That doesn't seem to be extremely winning play. Okay. Like, I'm happy with this one. Smark. Let's kill them with our amazing freaking dragon. Do we play Jwari? Enemy has so much mana. But they have quite a high curve. Still, we are really lacking. Like, we could do much more. Let's cycle. Probably nothing that we would take over those games. Yeah, sorry, I got brain fart, but I'm thinking, because maybe we should play Tainted Indulgence at the main phase in order to cycle better, but... or at the upkeep, so still the night-day cycles. But I'm not sure, I don't like tapping out. It always shows the enemy that you don't have stuff. And so far, like, enemy needs to react to us. We are the threat. Enemy is tasty food. Let's see if they play Test of Talents. Are you playing? Most decks don't. And this doesn't seem to be a very reactive deck. Interceptor. Like, you know, it's fine. I don't mind it as much, but it means that Kairi cannot continue smorking. Ooh, Mid-Hook Massacre, okay. So, we will still draw 2 cards. Okay. We can get rid of one. Like, we can a bit trade. We could go for 4 damage, then he attacks. He's back at 8. No, 6. Man, I suck. So it's 4, then 8. So we need a lot of turns with Kairi, and I don't think it's a good play. Takenuma. We don't get anything back, right? I think we start like this. We need some good cards. You are not good cards. I don't like you. I think we play Shadow Verdict now. We also switch and cycle some stuff. First of all, let's play land. Now let's see if it resolves. I think it does. But maybe he has another interceptor. Okay. So it means that we cannot re-attack, right? Yeah, it's too much damage. We cannot raise him anymore because of the lifelink. But at least we can cycle. Oh, that's freaking good draw. So we put the stop. So we play this before he draws. Man, that was a very good draw. Bye. Oh, it feels good. And we are back into racing, baby. Like, man, Kairi is doing work. And I mean work in this game. Even if they need Vanishing Verse. Only Vanishing Verse is response to Kairi. If they have Vanishing Verse, then they are ahead. If they have anything else in the game, they are behind. Oh, yes. Freaking... Oh, yes, do it. Do it. Give me this value. Target, no, not really. Oh, feel the... Can you feel this, this whole value? Can we get something threatening? Like, we probably want Tainted Indulgence. And you know what is better? 2 Tainted Indulgence. Because we have Memory Deluge in hand in the graveyard, so we need the same effect but cheaper. Let's keep drawing, let's keep drawing. I heard you don't like my dragons. What do you feel about this one? I'm not surprised if enemy will scoop quite after this draw. Like, Iymrith is also quite hard to answer. Like, he needs to directly kill him. And Obscura Charm won't work. Wow, that's a freaking good draw. It doesn't change the situation, but it buys him next draw. And not many cards could say this about them. And you can see, like, basically he did this only. Like, that was his full turn. That's how mana intensive Iymrith is. I don't think Jwari makes sense anymore. Let's do it like this. Let's play another round. And rinse and repeat. We could cycle into daytime, but I don't care so much. That game was really showing you how powerful this deck was. Wow, man, like, we really dominated this guy. Yep.